Hello, everybody out there interested in artificial intelligence. I've got an example that's come up twice in the last 2 days at work with humans in the loop. Okay, so let me explain this. So at the company restaurant here at work, what we do is we go and you come into the restaurant space, and you have to take your tray, and then you go ahead and get your main dish, and you can get maybe your appetizer stuff, you can get some dessert, and you can maybe get some soup or whatever, and drinks, or if you want drinks or whatever, these things, and salad, whatever, salad bar. So yesterday, I noticed that they've got soup again. And I usually get soup. I usually get some soup in addition to my whatever dish, and then some fruit, a fruit bowl. So yesterday I took a soup, and it's kind of a big bowl, and I had a medium-sized fruit bowl, and then I had I don't know, yesterday I got some a chicken thing, and today I got a fish thing. And so what you go is you take a meal, a dish, and then you come up to the these are automatic checkouts, right? They do have a cashier as well for usually non-employees or people that have problems with the automatic checkout. So you put your badge in, and it kind of deducts money from your badge and all that. So yesterday I noticed that it it got my fruit bowl correctly. I recognize that, but it guessed that my soup bowl, a bigger one, was a big size fruit bowl, which it wasn't. So I said, I don't agree. Now, they used to have it so I could actually check it. I don't agree. And I could actually change something and say it's this and that. But that takes more time for the employee, right? That's a waste of time for the employee. So what they've done is they just say, you can click on I am agree with the guessing of the automatic recognition, picture image recognition, or I don't agree. And then what it does, it sends the picture over to the cashier, who can then double check the picture and say yes. The cashier agrees with the employee who did not agree. There was a discrepancy in that, and they can choose and they can fix it and say this is soup rather than a fruit bowl. So the same thing happened again today. Same situation, just a different main dish. And so the person at the cash register happens to be the one that cooks. And so we kind of joked. I said, "Hey, this is AI, and this human in the loop artificial intelligence." We're kind of joking about it, especially because I have a son who's a cook as well. So we're kind of joking. And so he came over and explained it and said, "So I said it's in because this is a two humans in the loop process, right?" I said that you got the image recognition, and then the employee who the user says, I agree, I don't agree. And then it goes over to the second person, the cash register, who can then agree or not agree with the first level of the validation. They can double check, right, this whole thing. And they can then set that and say. But then he says there's a third human in the loop who, what they do is every time a new dish comes out, a new type of dish, some main dish, or they have a new thing, or like the soup, they have to take pictures of this, right? And then feed it into the system. So the system, the next time around, hopefully in a couple days, will then recognize the soup as soup. Now, what happens, it would be a problem if an employee puts soup into a medium-sized soup bowl, right, into the regular-sized soup bowl, they would think that the soup is actually a small fruit ball, rather, which it would be, or could you go the other direction? You could, So it all depends on the container and the content to put in the container, and the pictures you take, and all the texture and all these things, and plus the soup bowl size. But this I thought was really interesting because this shows an example of 3 humans in the loop to be able to get this whole AI-enabled image recognition system to work at a restaurant in a company in France where these things exist all the time, right? And at all kinds of companies, and what they're trying to do is improve the. Yes, it does have less cash registers. Okay, but we can't have 10 cash registers in there in the line. There's only one. And it's made it so that the lines aren't that long, right? That's the issue. Because in a lunch line, there's only an hour to eat, right? Well, yeah, French people don't eat for 2 full hours every single day. So it's reduced the lines. It has improved the process where it used to be the employee that had to make the check and do it. Now they just moved over to the cashier that has to double check the thing afterwards if the employee that doesn't agree that the picture is what it said it was. So these are some examples where human in the loop artificial intelligence does work, and it does improve, and how we're training it and using data. And these are some great examples to see. And I was kind of glad to be able to talk with the person that catches, or the cook and chef, and the chef, kind of talk about it and see how they're doing it, how they're improving it. So that's one good example of humans in the loop AI.